All right, we are about a week away from Rebel County Wrestling's first show of 2023, and it promises to be an absolutely cracking show, as they always are at the Kino. Delighted to be joined by the main man, Mr. Billy Bedlam. How are you, sir?
Ruairi, lovely to see you again. Thanks very much for having me. Yeah, just a week or so away now from our first show of the year. So kind of the countdown is on now. We're getting a bit serious with the promotion for the last week and a half. So I was the run, the 2 or 3 weeks in the run is when we get very busy with graphics and trying to push the show. So tickets are going well. Another week and a bit to go. So yeah, looking forward to it.
We spoke the last time about, I suppose, the new promotion having a kind of a lighter schedule, and you would hope that that would kind of improve the quality. Is that the case heading into next week?
Yeah, I mean, we did a show in start of November, and it was we pretty much sold out the Kino. We did about 10 people less than we did for Sky Tuhati, which was phenomenal, right? And it was a great night. I mean, it really was one of the best, if not the best, shows I was ever involved with. It was just felt so good, start to finish. It really, really did. So yeah, like people were like, "Oh, will you do another show before Christmas? February's too long." I was like, "No, absolutely not." Um, I was just my own personal life and my job is taking up a lot of time. So I'm hoping to do about 5 or 6 shows a year, maybe a couple of extra ones, maybe in the summer. Every 2 months is what I'm going to run rather than every month. So it's kind of half a schedule, which means I miss it a bit more than it being another full-time job. So we had a phenomenal night the first night, and I'm sure we will again in next week.
What are nerves like starting out a new promotion, the first show? I'd imagine kind of took you back to, I suppose, when you were starting out and your own debut, I suppose, and that level of nerves must have been, was it?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I didn't want it to be Phoenix. I didn't want it to look and feel like Phoenix. I was very, I don't know. Yeah, because I just didn't want it to be, oh well, if people walk in and there's the Phoenix ring there or whatever, and it just looks the same. It's like, oh, this is the very same thing, but it didn't, like, because it was very, very, very different. I think the red and white ring looks different. The aesthetic was different. The commentary team was different. The presentation was different. I actually ended up ring announcing myself. Tom Football unfortunately got laryngitis, and I had so much fun that I'm going to continue doing it because I love it. So I like being front and center. So it was a completely different feel for me personally, and all the rest of us said the same thing. And no, we had a great night. Like so it was I was nervous in the run up, but I was very calm nervous, not like stressed nervous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a simpler model now. Like so, I think I have the same feeling coming up the next show. I'm always a little bit nervous coming up towards the show. It's natural, but it's a simpler model now.
How did you find the ring announcing? Actually, when I did it for the Phoenix anniversary show all those years back, it was the best night I've had at wrestling in my entire life. So you must have really enjoyed it as well.
Oh, well, I fancy myself as a bit of a ring announcer anyway, and I did it for Lee back in the day in CCW after I was a commentator for a year, and I did announce a couple of the early shows in Phoenix as well. I think I wrestled the first two, and then I announced, or I ring announced the next two. I did one in the Kino and then one in Limerick. I really enjoy it. I love it. I mean, it's I'm comfortable doing it, and I think I have a good bit of energy about me when I do it as well, and I like my favorite bit about it is when the music is still going on and I'm in the ring and I have a little bit of interaction with the wrestlers and no one knows what we're talking. You know what I mean? It's just that to me is it's just a little bit of a cool thing to do. So no, I love it, and I think I'd probably, like, my wrestling days are pretty much over. So I think I'll settle into this role pretty easy.
Did a lot of the Phoenix crowd come back for Rebel County Wrestling? Was it pretty much the same crowd? You get new faces in, or were you happy to see the old faces back?
We had some new faces, but it was primarily the Cork wrestling crowd. You know what I mean? They were the same crowd that St. Paul and Cork wrestling and CCW and Phoenix, and now they've supported us in RCW, which is great to see. And we ticked all the boxes, and all the Cork wrestlers were wrestling, and they were all, they were all prominent on the show. Raven Creed came away with the Grand Prix title that night. And it was just a really feel good Cork moment, I think, and I think we're kind of, as we go forward with it, I mean, we're definitely going to showcase the best of Cork wrestling. I've said that, and that's the only reason I've kind of came back to do this, it's Cork wrestling for Cork wrestlers, like, and for Cork fans. Obviously we get a good mix of people coming out from Dublin and in from the UK as well to make the show even better. But front and center is we're going to showcase our own guys.
Yeah, and there's some fantastic Cork wrestlers. Just looking at the poster here, you got Raven front and center. You've got Anita
Yeah.
Vaughan. I mean, like, the talent in Cork is there, and it's at a very, very high level.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think like there's no training school in Cork now at the moment. So the lads are going up to train with Steve in Limerick. It's just I don't have the capacity to do it. Like I'm sure somebody will at some point open a training school in Cork, and more power to them. It's just I kind of don't have the capacity with job and life and stuff, But I'm happy enough to just promote and see where it takes me. But you're right, yeah. I mean, we've got Sam Desham again there. We got Dean. We got Matt Schuyler. We got Nita Vaughan. We got Raven Creed. We got Reardon O'Connor, who's unlucky. He actually picked up an injury. He won't be at the show, but he'll be there. But he won't be wrestling. We got Mr. Charlie, who's a crowd favorite, obviously, and Butch Armstrong. And like we've got Luke Marion Armstrong, who's back doing commentary and doing some announcing, and Justy as well, who's settling into a commentary role. So, I mean, Justy's as Cork can be in wrestling terms. I know he's got the Kildare accent, but Jesus Christ, he's been around for so long in Cork wrestling scene. He's as Cork can be,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Some cracking matches have been announced, and an absolutely massive match that really caught my eye was LJ Cleary against Owen Richards, which has the makings of being an absolute cracker.
Yeah, but I mean, LJ is one of the best wrestlers, if not the best wrestler in the country or Europe. Yeah. Like he doesn't have a flaw in his game, and Owen Richards is he's someone who's I think is up and coming. He's a big guy. He had a barnstormer against G Money last time. He's a big dude, like he's a big bull of a man. And it'd be interesting to see the dynamic in the ring after the lads spent a lot of time with each other last year in the Savage Destiny in Cork. And it's been an interesting match, like a very technical LJ Cleary versus very bullish, big, but also well able to go and wrestle on Richard. So yeah, it'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. And announced today as well as for the ICW title, which we had on the line in our second show, I think, with DCT. Leighton Buzzard making his Cork debut versus Martin Steers. That little troll, Martin Steers. He's an absolute demon. So I'm really looking forward to that. And another match that we haven't announced yet, but it'll probably be announced by the time this goes out, is Raven Creed will take on Fabio. Again, Fabio is only a step behind LJ Cleary as one of the best wrestlers in Europe. And we all know Raven can go. So that could be match of the night there as well. So we've that, and we have the tag team tournament Grand Prix. One match is announced. We got the Bearded Beauties featuring my former tag team partner and former tag team champion partner Butch Armstrong and JDP versus Mr. Charlie and MJ Chef. The other tag match hasn't been announced yet, but so there's it's a good card, like it's a good strong wrestling card. We'll do a family matinee as well that day. That went well the last day. I mean, we need to do a lot of work for the family market in Cork. I realize that we don't do a lot of postering and advertising. We kind of need to start focusing on that if we want to build that market. But it was a super day last day out, and I think we'll have some super matches again this time.
Yeah, it should be an absolute cracker. That is happening at the Kino Saturday, 4th of February. Tickets available at eventbrite.ie. Mr. Bedlam, as always, a pleasure, sir, and very best luck with the show.
Thank you as well, George. Talk to you soon.